How's everybody doing? Show me your thumbs. Where are they, more or less? Yeah! 2 thumbs. Amazing. Love it. The energy here is burning. You guys are an amazing audience. Never seen so much power and energy in any room. You guys are completely, what is it? Smacking me off? No, that's not the... Yeah. Okay, welcome everybody to the final presentation of the Rethink Journalism Hackathon 2022. You've done it. First of all, I want to give you all a super warm applause. You did amazing work. And we're all so proud of you. You have worked tirelessly. It was emotional. It was tiring. It was exciting. It was creative. It was stressful. It was also maybe a bit boring for some, which should not happen. But some people told me, oh, it was boring. But should not happen. But it happened regardless. So that's a huge learning for us. And I want to start by reminding you once again, who are your hack mothers and fathers? We publish in Opendata.ch. In case you have any questions, critique, remarks, or love letters to send them our way. And also, we're gonna say a big thank you at the end, but just so you can tell who was involved in this whole creation of the hackathon. We had a lot of partners and helpers and sponsors. So thank you in advance. And do never forget to post what you've done or share it on LinkedIn or on Twitter. The hashtag is the same and has been the same for the last 3 months. It's ReJoha22. Tag us, tag yourself, tag everybody you love. And we're going to do it super smoothly and swiftly here. We have only 3 things to do today, which are the next steps, what's happening after the hackathon. I'm going to do it before all the challenge project presentations, because once the last presentation has been presented, everybody completely attention span drops to 0. Then we'll have the presentations, and then we'll have a huge thank you session for everybody involved. Thank you so much for adhering to the code of conduct. We always share it, so treat everybody with kindness. You can also apply that in your everyday life, but so hackathons are based on openness and kindness and amazing workflows. And also very important, you have them on your table, and I know who is here right now, and if you did not answer the survey, I will haunt you until I get an answer from you. So this is the survey QR code. Please open your phone, take the image, fill out the survey. We rely so heavily on your feedback. This is the only way we can improve and really honor our commitment to growth, and make the next hackathon or the next ReJoha even better and more amazing and more maybe challenging or creative. So we do really need your feedback, and thank you in advance so much for your time. I'm going to go super fast through the next part, but just so you know what is possible in the realm of hackathons and open data and we publish. Okay, so if you feel, my project is amazing and it might actually deserve some money or some prototype funding, in January we have the demo day of the last cycle of the prototype fund, which is a project we have at Opendata.ch. You can also check out the QR code, or you can go on our website and check out the date. Here you will see the projects that have been funded. However, the next cycle has been just, I think, approved. So next year there will be another prototype fund. And if you are keen to continue your project or any other project, this is an opportunity for you to get some seed funding. And if you are really into hackathons and anything government, APIs, and tech, we have a hackathon in Bern in late March called GovTech. We do not have a website yet, but you can get more updates there. Opendata.ch newsletter, save the date, you see the dates, stay updated. If you love what we did and you want to bring it more into a legal kind of realm, there's the Open Legal Lab at the end of April, beginning of May. Also in Bern, in Macklingen, which is an amazing, amazing location. And end of September, mid-September, we'll have the energy data lag for everybody of you who love climate stuff and data visualizations and how energy impacts our world. This is also your place to be. There's a lot of partners involved, so if you're actually looking for a new job in the energy sector, it might be your place. Then end of September in Geneva, we have the Glam Hack. Glam is all things galleries, libraries, archives, and museum. Actually, Wikimedia is also heavily involved, of course. At the Museum of Ethnographie à Genève, which is ethnographic museum in Geneva. So there we will be looking everything that has to do with cultural responsibility, appropriation, ethnographic, colonialism, and so on during a hackathon. So if this tickles your fancy, it might be your place to be. All right, this is it. We have 8 presentations. I hope. And I want to ask now the first project to come on stage and present their project, which is Briefing and Gipfeli, challenge number 2. And Siri comes on stage with nobody, with Tomasz. And they deserve a warm, amazing applause. Uh-oh. Okay. Yay!
Can't reload it, right?
We can or we can't?
Okay. We can?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Oh. Somebody added something right now. Present. Okay. So let's start. So Briefing and Gipfeli. Everybody knows this project. It's about printing Basel briefing in coffee shops. So we have this printer M5 stack, which from theory supposed to be very good, but it had a lot of challenges we faced. We had incomplete APIs, missing features, faulty firmware, but that's, I guess, normal on hackathon that not everything works perfect. Cyril did some good job on that, but about that in the next slide. What else we have? The API only accepts ASCII, so we could not have like special wonderful umlauts, no emoticons, nothing like that. The briefings were very long, and with the font size, the default font size of the printer, it would take like a tree to print one. The problem was the briefing. The content of the briefing was in HTML only, so we needed some parsing to get what we really wanted, as we could use only text and images. And another one, small one, the dark images were barely visible, and there were also GIFs, so animated images, and it's hard to present them on static paper, unless we could print frame by frame GIFs. Maybe that's even more paper. What we did, so we've been actually successful, right, with this. I don't know when to do the demo, maybe now. So we should attach some pictures, but didn't have enough time for adding it to the presentation. But we have some, I think, Carl, you have, right? The proof of that we did it. We can maybe show it around the room. Everybody can watch it. Yeah, we can print a new one, but you can watch on this. And what we did is, after all the approaches with the current firmware, Cyril decided to write new firmware, which basically prints briefing on start. So we push this firmware into the device. So this device works differently than any others. It always prints the briefing whenever we start it. So we have also this feature that whenever we reset the device, it prints the new one. So now it's the feature when you go to the coffee shop, you reset the device and you get the new briefing. That's the feature. Firmware, so how it works, the firmware takes an image from a Git repo with briefing in a bitmap format. So the limitations about the ASCII and also a big font, we decided to do the bitmap format of the whole text and all the images and print it directly as a bitmap. So we're not using the text feature of the printer, but bitmap print of the printer. There's also a GitHub workflow pushing a new briefing every day. So it generates the bitmap image based on the content and puts it to the GitHub repo based on the MailChimp API and archive. Yeah, and we have text with UTF-8, images in full width, which was also a bit of a challenge, right? That we had the firmware was faulty, that it only limited to some size, and we had like a half of the paper only filled with images and text, and there was a lot of debugging and hacking and checking out how it works. So you want to run it, maybe? Or you're running it? Okay.
So it started printing, and it has pictures in it and the text, and you will have to look at it up close because it's small font. But so it saves a bit of paper, but it's still a very long text.
We are not sure if this is the actual desired effect, because I remember Sami was excited to see it, like a very long printing that people like, what is this thing? What did he buy, right? How many GIF files? But now it's like a compact. And we actually added a new feature. It's actually printed on a paper you can stick to the wall or something. So yeah. Okay. Still to do. So it's a proof of concept. To make it to the coffee shops, we need to hook into their software printers format. So it's probably a different, thing to do. But additional work.
But the bitmap is adjustable.
Yeah, that's true. The bitmap is adjustable. So the part to generate the bitmap could be reused, but how to put it into the printer and when to put it, because in the Ghibli shops you have a receipt, and probably after the receipt you would need to print something, so it would need to be hooked into their software and stuff like that. So that's to do. And we also wanted to parse links and maybe print QR codes, but there are a lot of them, a lot of links, and probably only some of them should be printed as a QR codes. One of them would be because in the briefing you have a question of the day, so maybe question of the day would be nice to have a QR codes even for answers, yes, no, but that would need to require some special things. It's just finished. Yep. You want to add something, sir?
Thank you so much, Tomasz. Wait, you're not leaving yet. So, are there any questions?
Do you think it would be possible to print it quicker in future?
With a different printer, but not with this. But the normal register printer are way faster.
This is actually pretty interesting.
You need to wait 10 minutes.
5 minutes to read it.
It's slow living instead of everything fast and online and yes, I think you need to come closer. Okay.
A cool hack with the bitmap, but wasn't it not too big for the memory of the printer, or could that be a problem? I mean, because bitmaps are really big, no?
So it is now connected through Wi-Fi through my phone, and it streams it directly and prints it on the go.
I have a question. What is parse?
Well, parse, like extract links basically.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, wonderful applause for team number 2, basically, but challenge number 1, project number 1, well done! And you realized I forgot some very important information to share with you. You have 5 minutes, not 3, not 2. You have 5 minutes, and I thought this was way too much time, but you actually managed to fill it up. Well done. And these 5 minutes are so that we try to finish before 5. Okay, next on stage, Datencockpit Klimajournalismus, challenge number 3. Here on stage with Gami and Gami. Warm applause for her as well.
So the challenge was to so the whole data visualization thing. How can we present data? What is important, and where do we get the data from? Just for reminding. So we had different ideas, and because we were a big group, we were able to follow them all, which was really nice. So we checked what data is available in Basel, because we needed to like narrow it down to some place, right? And we really wanted it to be local. So we started searching about Basel, and actually we were surprised to see that there is quite some data available. And we could make a list of all data we find about energy, environment, transport or mobility, and the media. Sorry, it's written in German. But guess it's okay. And then looking at those data, we had ideas what we can do with them. And our main ideas were trends, like how we talk about, or how the media talk about data. How can we make those data presented or visualized? Can we actually compare this data with the city goals for climate? We thought that might be interesting for readers to not just have data, but also some value. Are we going anywhere? Are we? Hello. We also thought it might be a nice idea to also display a list of events which are related to climate issues, so we could have something of actions or solutions or whatever you could actually act on as a reader. The challenges we faced were this SMD website where actually a lot of data is available, but you're not allowed to use them, which was a pity. Especially for some subjects we wanted to cover, which would have been perfect, but yeah, you can't use it unless you ask in advance, but we haven't, so yeah. And then the climate goals for the city of Basel are not always super measurable, so it wasn't super easy to we couldn't just make goals what we use now and just compare it. So we had to find a workaround. I will show you later. Then in some data, we don't really know why they behave in a certain way. I will also show you later. And then the fact that our time was limited to 2 days, then we had to make some choices, what we do, what we don't do. The stack, we used Postgres database, for those who know, and Observable, I will show you right away. It's what we use to display the data and make some kind of a prototype. So as a result, we have this data list with all data we gathered, which is also available for use now. We made a mock-up for the design, and then we actually implemented it in Observable. Maybe you can show it. Can you scroll up? Yeah, exactly. So this is Observable. On top, you can see the climate cockpit. The idea would be to have this interactive map at the top, which is kind of fun, and you can play with it. And when you hover to some tree, for example, you see tree data. If you hover on the car, you see whatever transport data or so. And then if you scroll down, you see data we get directly from the database, and actually it's interactive, so you could change the year. If you click on the 2022 on top, yes, and it will also get updated when new data is available. Then you can scroll down a bit more, and then here we have in this gray square we have the climate goals of the city of Basel, and because it's no data, we can actually we made it as a text, and all texts are actually describing the data in a very professional journalistic way by the two journalists of our team. You can scroll down a bit more. Thank you very much. Even more. So you can see different topics we had data for: mobility, energy, environment, etc., temperature. And this is the climate trend that Christian did. Which shows the relevance of the topic of climate in the media. No, sorry, that's not of Google search. And then if you scroll down a little bit, then we have the event section, which shows which events about climate, like this is an example with the Reaper Cafe, you could attend. And this is just the database, so it doesn't need to be shown. We don't really need that. Well, I mean, it's the data we use for the graphs, and this is like additional data that we didn't necessarily use because we didn't think, like we wanted to show some examples, right? But this is not the goal. So, but this is like the data cockpit with data, with journalist explanation about different subjects all around data. Yes. And what we would like to be done in future, if we come back to the presentation, is like the map is not interactive yet. So as you saw, like when you hover on it, you can't see any bubbles or so. So that would be something we want to do. Yeah, this one here, exactly. And the event section, we also would like to have it like drawn from some API which collects all events about climate in Basel, for example, or in whatever city you are in. So that's two things that we had as ideas and that we didn't have time to implement. Yes, that's it. Unless you want to add something, my team? No? Okay.
Are there any questions for? Sorry. Are there any questions for the team? Really? I think it's amazing what you did. Well done. Congratulations. My stopwatch broke when you started speaking, so we had way more time, but it's okay. Okay, next on stage is die ganze Fastnacht in einem Bilde with Jean-Claude, and he also deserves a really warm applause.
Hey everyone, so the idea was to use an open source tool from a German artist to generate a picture. So you start out with this video on the your left, and then it has this moving column, and then compresses the whole video into one picture, and then the end result would look something like this. So that's what the idea was, and for that purpose use an open source tool. Now, there were a few challenges and the stuff I worked on. The three core challenges was that one, the code was not very user-friendly. It was very slow, and in order to get a high-quality output, you need a good frame rate and high-resolution video. So the way our team, that is me, tackled it is the first one, I rewrote the library. Number two, I changed the methodology in which way the image is created. So instead of using frames, I went down to the pixel level and just used the arrays in the picture. And then the last one, I tried a few things to improve the output quality. One of them was to interpolate between the frames to increase the frame rate artificially using linear interpolation, but there are more sophisticated methods using deep learning to do that even better. But that was out of the scope for the hackathon. So here is one of the results with interpolation, as well as other considerations when using the project. So well, without interpolation, you see that the person. Oh, by the way, this was done in front of Clara. So on the left-hand side, you see the person walking. There's not much information, and on the right-hand side, yeah, there's more information. Considerations to take into account is the angle of the camera. So it needs to be profile. The distance to subject is also very important because it affects the speed at which well, the pixels move on the video. So you can see, for instance, the people at closer to the camera are much more narrow because they spend less time in front of the camera versus the people behind it. Other things is the frame rate of video, as mentioned before, the resolution. This was shot in 4K, 60 frames per second. And then from the processing point of view, also the time to process the videos, as the video gets longer, the output also gets larger. And then another thing that needs to be tested is also, since we want to do this for Fastnacht, try it out for larger crowds. So the street was not very busy today. So that also might be what should be taken into account when testing it. Code is on GitHub. And then lastly here, other results. The first one is a video I found on YouTube about during Fastnacht. You can see the video turned into this, where you can see a bit better I don't know what that is. Yeah, but what they represent. But yeah, the lanterns. And then to test out different settings, I chose Shibuya Crossing because it has this nice profile video of people walking with more people. So you can see what it would look like if the streets were busier. And then also other failed attempts when the angle was bad or the distance, well, this comes out. So if someone wants to use it, especially for the Fastnacht, camera placement and tools will be very important to take into account. Yep, that's it.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Yes.
How long is the video for that kind of image that you got? And then I would imagine it's pretty short. And then if you do it for like a longer time, you would like have this huge picture.
Yeah. That was actually the idea, to have this huge picture, more as like a PR marketing thing. I think this video is not more than a few seconds, but also the frame rate plays into like a role in it. So the slower the video, the longer it gets. I didn't do any tests in terms of the output image itself, just in terms of processing. A 22-second video takes about 10 seconds to process. And then, yeah, it really depends on whatever input material comes into play.
You don't use it in the briefing, otherwise you have to.
It's going to be forever. Thank you so much, Jean-Claude. And team number 4, well done. Warm applause. He deserves that. We had Sami inspired a lot of people, and we had a couple of one-man teams. So well done for also working alone. It's hard. Next is challenge number 6, hacking robots. Who got that? Karl?
Hello. So there's going to be a demo later at Basel about it, because we can't do it here. Because we need a wall that we can write on. And it, yeah, on Basel. Yeah. So we're going to have a demo later there, as far as I know.
I thought we were going to do it now.
I mean, if you are going to want to go there now, okay.
You have got 5 minutes. I'm counting now.